Hello everyone, I am Renown Zero, and we're back again talking about some more Rippaverse tractors. We got some more to add today. We got our usual suspects, Buster, Baxter, and Actual Fandom. We got some other ones you might remember. We'll get into it in just a second. But first, take a look at the sales. $2.197 million. Just slightly under 2,000 more until it hits $2.2 million with 11,830 cover A's, 12,245 cover B's, 3,826 cover C's, 2,269 cover D's, 2,137 total books donated. Just shy of 18,700 total purchasers, of course, with the campaign ending on August 27th. And of course, sales never cease after the campaign ends. That's why they have the cover D mass print cover, similar to the cover C for ISOM 1. That never goes away. You can still purchase that after the fact. And like I said in the last video, you can donate the book as well with cover C of ISOM 1, cover D of ISOM 2, or cover C and cover D for ISOM 1 and 2 respectively. 2 comic books for kids if you wish to do so. You also get until Friday, when you purchase anything, you get a free Rippaverse Comics hat with the coupon code copyright. So let's jump over to the Rippaverse Goalposts Twitter account. Go follow them on Twitter and on YouTube if you'd like to keep up with them. Showing off that, of course, Actual Fandom somehow taking a victory lap, and he of course thinks the Rippaverse is failing. He made an entire 1 hour plus, I would say 1 hour and 22 minute video chronicling, I think is the word. Cataloging his whole year of studying Airrick July. I'm thinking about going over that in a live stream, possibly on Saturday around noon. If anybody would like to join me for that or think that's a good idea, leave a comment below and let me know. This is of course a meme. I think we went over this. Scrolling on up here, you got this little, you can see it right there, just 1 hour and 22 minutes right there. That's the video that I would be going over. I've listened to it a little bit. Within like the first, I would say 2 minutes, there's already a couple things I can say about what he has to say, because it doesn't make any sense. This is of course a tweet Felix Highlander put out. I wish Airrick July would self-delete so Buster could go back to making fun of Maddox more. This was of course, I guess the tweet violated Twitter rules. That's why we always have screenshots, because the internet is forever. This is something the Fats found. It was a mistake that of course Airrick fixed, because it actually says control the right way, because it's supposed to say complete control. It says it spelled correctly the right way in the video, but of course they always have to pull something out of their pocket whenever they feel it necessary to try to make fun of somebody, when it's always somebody more successful than them. Airrick July blames these mistakes on his editor and has highly regarded fans. It's supposed to say another R word. Just parrot the same excuses. Pathetic. Meanwhile, your fans parrot the same insults towards me that you use in regards to being overweight. Meanwhile, both hosts of this podcast are both heavier than I am in weight. They like to make their fans believe that it's the other way around, when clearly anyone with 2 proper working brain cells can figure it out. But yeah, this is part of the little hour 22-minute video. We're gonna go over it real quick and listen to this.
Okay, so the people that think that I'm just obsessed with Airrick July,
You're absolutely obsessed. You're obsessed in a negative way. I guess people would say I'm obsessed in a positive way, but at least for me, I come with honesty and factual statements and evidence disproving what people are saying, while people like you just make up complete and blatant lies. which is the difference between me and you.
I got some kind of thing out for him in particular. I don't. The thing that makes him a point.
You do. You've constantly said that you are trying to make his business lose money and take money out of his pocket. You have said this before, by the way. You will look at my previous videos. You will find it.
Point of interest for me is that he exists on that intersection of my personal love of comics and my personal philosophy of reduce harm, maximize well-being. And I ignored the guy for almost 3
No one really cares. Absolutely no one cares.
years. Because at a glance, he was boring. And to me, he was just the Rhodes dude.
By the way, that's an opinion. That's an opinion. It's not a fact.
How many times you think we ain't felt all the things? How many times we say we oppose taxation? What about the roads?
The thing about the whole taxation thing in roads is that I get where Airrick is coming from with that, because we pay massive amounts of taxes and the roads still don't get fixed almost ever. So I kind of get I get where he's coming from with that one.
How many times? What about the roads?
But when I began to get asked about ISOM and Rippaverse, and asked fairly often, I had to see what it was. I still wouldn't have cared that much, because after all, he's, there's lots of Comicsgate guys I've never and will never talk about. But those guys don't.
Yeah, you're not going to talk about them because they're not connected to a organization called Blaze TV that you care about so much. Yes, we know. We know. You just want to find an excuse to say that money was donated to Airrick because he works for an organization you don't like.
Have upward of 500k subs. They don't work for a major right-wing media / disinformation network.
Incorrect. Once again, incorrect. And you blatantly explain why you don't care about those other people, but you care about Airrick because he has upwards of 500k subs, 514k subs, and he works for Blaze TV. This is why you care about Airrick specifically. You literally put that out there.
He just happens to be the guy who exists, he operates on this axis, like right at the fucking nexus point of this axis of my interests and my skill set. Okay?
You have no skill set because your journalistic integrity has been shot a long time ago. And I know you're gonna bring up your education in journalism, and you don't even know the first thing about journalism. Clearly.
My interests being comic books, fandom, chilling out, talking about comic books, what we like, what we don't like, without it being a hostile thing. Also,
but literally, most of your live streams are just about Airrick July and how much you dislike him.
So, bigotry, don't like it. Think people that are fucking racist and against people's gender and shit like that.
You know that you're an ist yourself, right? You are a racist. You are a racist yourself. You called Airrick July a chunky monkey. Or at least one of the people you are surrounded by called him that. And you've openly admitted, because you think the word idiot is a slur, you think it's okay for the people you hang around with, and that you yourself believe it is okay to call people slurs, to call Airrick July slurs. Like that one dude who called Airrick that famous uncle, and you were perfectly okay with that. You actually had 2 people that you were around that called Airrick July that famous uncle. Just remember, rules for thee, but not for me.
I think it's fucking cringe, and you get the fuck out of here. All that is right there in.
He's never gonna get the F out of here because he has a comic book universe to build. He has a fan base that's loyal. He has a fan base that he's giving them a product that they want. You are not giving people a product or a service that they want. You are serving people BS is what you're doing.
How he operates. It's right. It's that's the pin he plays in. And then also my skill set, which is I have a background in journalism, so I know how to.
And you're still an idiot.
Look for information. And I feel like I analyze it pretty okay.
You analyze it terribly. because you get the most basic of things wrong.
Yeah, so it really is. It could be anybody. Good faith. Why does he fucking lie? Really nice.
Some characters have been written decently.
Did you call her a crack?
That's exactly who Airrick July.
Miles made argument.
Makes them look good, and it gives them an opportunity to call you racist. He wanted to see himself represented in the comic that he kind of wrote.
No. He made a black superhero because he wanted to specifically show people how it was done the right way, rather than doing the lazy race swapping of white characters to black characters, like they did with Peter Parker, who was Spider-Man, and Miles Morales, who was Miles Morales. Because that's all Miles Morales is a carbon copy of Peter Parker, who is Spider-Man. Moving on. I'm in the last half of 2022. I covered Mr. July too much. This was very old, by the way. So, we're going to skip on up to Big Daddy.
Now, I remember one of the things they criticized the mainstream for was how they would only have certain demographics of people write for the certain demographics of superhero or whatever. Like, they were going to have Iceman be gay Iceman. So they had to have a gay person write the gay Iceman character or whatever.
And it was trash, and it was against the character he's always been forever. And the way they did it was just Jean Grey going, Bobby, you're gay. You're gay now. And that's it. That's basically the synopsis of how that happened. It was absolutely stupid.
Or they're going to have a black person write for Luke Cage or whatever. Like, you got to be the black person writing for black people. You got to be the woman writing for the female characters. You got to be...
Which I think is dumb. I think that is the dumbest thing ever. You shouldn't have to look like the character you're writing to be able to write the character you're writing. I think that's absolutely dumb, and it essentially gets rid of all creativity.
The gay person writing for the gay people, etc., you know? And they used to criticize the mainstream for that kind of shit. And they thought that they could do better or whatever, so they got the Rippaverse.
They did do better. They're selling people a product they actually want. Marvel and DC are not selling to customers. They're selling to fake fans on Twitter who don't buy shit.
What's going on? So what does young Rippa do? He hires the Soska sisters to do the Yaira book. And not only that, but he hires a female artist to be on the Yaira book too.
Wow, he hired two people who are talented in the industry who wrote a Black Widow story that people enjoyed. What a world. Hire people based on talent and not by the way they look. What a concept.
Got Chuck Dixon writing for all of the white heroes. And young Rippa, he's obviously writing for...
Again, hiring someone based on their merit, based on their past books. Not because what they look like. Not because of what they look like. Because of their merits and their past stories that they've written for.
For all of the black heroes. Like, it's just the same fucking shit as the mainstream, only 1,000 times shittier. That's what it is. That's what's going on.
Sounds like an opinion.
I mean, it's, meet the new boss, same as...
The difference is with mainstream and Rippaverse, mainstream hires based on who you sleep with. Whereas Rippaverse hires based on merit and talent.
The old boss type shit. Only way, way worse. Only way shittier. Way more stupid. Way more...
You dummy. You still have terrible opinions. Jesus. Now we got Mr. Airrick with his bad takes on one of Airrick July's videos. Let's take a listen before we get into Buster Baxter and an actual fandom.
I'm not going to dive too deep into this. All right, let's have a little bit of fun. I'm not going to dive too deep into this, but this was a tweet.
You're going to dive very deep into it and get it all wrong. Let's listen.
Tweet from Eric July where he says these are examples of what not to do when it comes to Hollywood movies. And oddly enough, in this picture, he has Captain Marvel and Spider-Man sitting next to Bob Iger.
You must not have read the whole tweet because you're pretty dumb. It says, though my position on the changes that the mainstream continues to make to the things we grew up on is the same, my perspective on it has changed in that it's now seen as an example of what not to do. Meaning he is no longer going to be complaining about the crappy changes that they make in the mainstream. That's what the entire video was about. But clearly you didn't watch the video. All you did was look at the thumbnail and then you start to complain about it. Which, by the way, this is Captain Marvel in the second Marvel movie, which is actually titled The Marvels, because Marvel knew that she could not stand on her own in her own movie.
Marvel and Spider-Man sitting next to
Miles Morales.
Bob Iger. I know they don't like to admit it, but Captain Marvel made over $1 billion.
It did not make over $1 billion, by the way. That's how much revenue came in. That's not how much money the movie actually made. Studios get their cut. Movie theaters get their cut. Everybody gets their cut. So no, the movie didn't make that much money. That's not profit. That's revenue. Two different things. And like I said, that picture that was used in the thumbnail was from Captain Marvel 2, or The Marvels as it's called now.
For Marvel. And this is from a community that...
And there's not a single person who doesn't want to admit that it made over $1 billion. We know what happened. Disney was buying up tickets, and the biggest factor was the fact that this movie was smack dab in the middle of 2 Avengers films and was put out there as the movie you had to see, quote unquote, before you saw Avengers Endgame, which you didn't. This movie was pointless. This movie was trash. It was absolute garbage, and it's worth a skip. You can go from Avengers Infinity War straight to Avengers Endgame, and you wouldn't miss a dang thing.
That considers financial success to be the paramount thing when it comes to success at all. And Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, this movie made almost $700 million.
Again, that is revenue, not profit. So it didn't actually make $684 million.
As an animated film. It also broke a bunch of records. We're not even going to go over that here.
I mean, the Super Mario Bros. Movie made double that and broke a bunch of records too. And it's a better film. It's a far better film in a far shorter amount of time. Because no one actually cares about Miles Morales, because his books don't sell. And he's Miles Morales.
The first movie is widely loved by everyone, and
I don't know who everyone is, but I don't think so.
The third film in this trilogy is highly anticipated.
And it's probably going to be terrible.
A lot of people can't wait to see it. Look, if you want to talk about the downfalls of comic book movies and stuff, these 2 examples, Captain Marvel and Spider-Man, are just stupid examples. Alright.
That's just a thumbnail, by the way. I could tell you right away, just by your 1-minute response, that you did not watch this video. So, please shut up. Stop talking. Moving on to Dick Masterson, right? So after this person reads this is one of Dick Masterson's fans, I can tell, or Buster Baxter's fans, I'm sorry. ISOM 2 was a mess. That's an opinion. Feels like a reboot. That's an opinion. Does have a story arc. Still an opinion, but it's childlike. An opinion. Again, all opinions. There are no obstacles or challenges. Opinion. Remember, everything that's said here is an opinion, by the way. ISOM is told where to go and people give him what he needs for no reason. Also, about half the pages have nothing to do with the story. Yes, because a universe has to be built, dummy. It's the second book in a big universe, you big dummy. But again, your notes are so asinine anyway. Because, again, you ask questions that are answered in the book. I said this in my last video. You have the reading comprehension of a first grader. And then you go ahead and post a full page of the book online. This person, this is one of the best pages I've seen in the public. The dialogue is a seemingly fluent conversation about a supernatural anomaly. I like her costume design, mystical and mysterious. Great perspectives on most of the shots. I'm not a fan of the panel layout, but what's there looks good. And all they do is crap all over the person's opinion. Don't lie, phony. I mean, for a story progress page, it's alright. I don't mind Airrick. He's learning the process as he goes. He was smart to take my suggestion and bring in writers like Dixon. I suggest the EVS do the same. Don't know if he did or not, but CF2 was better. I want to see you all do well. So they just dogpile on this guy for having an opinion, right? Because you can't have your opinion. You can't have opinions about a page that's also illegally put out there, by the way. Yeah, it's a lot of money for having no experience. I can't understand it. It's a marketing anomaly. It doesn't bother me, but makes no sense except it has nothing to do with books. He has a fan base that will buy, and now it just happens to be comics. He's rich. I just want 1,000 backers myself so I can keep working and go from there. Someone who's putting their opinion out there, which, by the way, this guy's lying about another creator. Right? This guy supposedly has so much knowledge, yet he's sitting here complaining about someone else's work. Because reasons. Moving on to AF, actual fandom. Like I said, he's doing the exact same thing that Buster Baxter is doing. Pulling that one review as being the end-all be-all review for the comic book, for ISOM 2. Because one person had a different type of review than a lot of other people from that one video I showed yesterday, about 5-minute video I showed yesterday. In that longer video, somehow this is the end-all be-all for ISOM 2. That's the end-all be-all for ISOM 2. And as I said, this man made an hour and 22-minute video on studying, quote-unquote, Airrick July, which is something I would like to go through on a live stream, honestly. So, like I said in the beginning, if anybody would like me to go through that, I want to go through it. Might do it on Saturday at noon on YouTube. Let me know in the comments below. But the campaign will continue to heat up. It will continue to grow. It's even growing as I speak. Record this video. Thank you all for checking out this video. I really do appreciate all the new subscribers, returning subscribers, new viewers, returning viewers. If you do like this video, though, hit that like button. Comment below what you feel about everything. Subscribe for more content. Do not interact or communicate with anyone I've shown in this video. Subscribe for more content. Hit the bell for notifications. Set the bell to all. That way you get notifications anytime I post a new video. Notifications anytime I post a new video. And I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.